You're not Diddy's mother getting implicated in Diddy's legal drama. The streets are saying that not only was Mama Combs allegedly involved in her son's freakoffs, but she allegedly led the freakoffs herself. Child, it looks like the entire family was insanely freaky, but the mother being involved in this is some next level stuff. If y'all are wondering how this tea even got spilled in the first place, well, word on the streets is that we have Kim Porter's family to thank for that, because they allegedly handed over evidence to the feds about this. Child, it looks like Mama Combs is about to get some matching prison jumpsuits with her son, because Kim Porter's family wants justice for her and they don't care who goes down with her. So did Janice Combs introduce her son to freakoffs, or is she another one of his victims? Let's break it down. Okay, so we have known for a hot minute now that Kim Porter's family has always contested the official ruling of her death, the pneumonia ruling. It's hard to blame them because it doesn't make a lot of sense. For one, the first coroner who performed the autopsy noted that there were some toxins in her system, while the next thing we knew, the coroner was fired and was replaced by another coroner who took 2 weeks to complete his findings, ruling that she passed away from pneumonia. And get this, when people started to get suspicious of the second coroner's ruling, the first coroner, the one who found toxins in her system, mysteriously passed away from so-called natural causes. Yeah, the math was not mathing. Multiple sources also claimed that the feds were investigating the possibility that Kim's passing might have been a MUR and not as a result of pneumonia. According to a source, the family had been considering filing a wrongful death lawsuit against Diddy, but ultimately decided not to because they had been contacted by the feds. The source said they all had been contacted by the FBI, and 3 family members and 6 friends have been interviewed already, and they have been told to stay quiet. According to Kim's ex, Cassie told lawyers upon filing her own lawsuit against Diddy that she had information about the death of Kim Porter and she has proof of the reason why Kim was murdered. Another insider claimed that there had been a lot of cover-up regarding the case and how a lot of things didn't make sense about the case. The insider said when Kim passed there were questions about the manner in which she died. If they are going to say that it was pneumonia and that she passed peacefully in sleep, then why was there blood located on Kim's pillowcases and also a slight trail of blood on the bedroom floor that led to the bathroom? Why hasn't that been mentioned? Kim was not found unresponsive in bed. She was discovered on the bathroom floor, and if they found her in the bed, then she was strategically placed there. Kim was not found by so-called housemates. That's a lie too. She was being supervised by a medical professional that was handpicked by Sean. Honestly, it's given the whole Michael Jackson and what his doctor did to him vibes. Also, the last call Kim made was to 911 at 2:43 a.m. But Kim was found passed away later in the morning around 11 a.m. According to Kimura Simmons, Kim Porter's first baby daddy and the father of her son Quincy Elbishore, also hinted on Instagram that Diddy knew a thing or two about Kim Porter's death. He wrote, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's MUR and how it ripped the soul from my physical body. I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. We just celebrated our son's new deal and Christmas special with Netflix, and she was in fantastic health as well as laughing seeing me and Diddy's mutual exchange at the theater. I'm going to leave it there. Don't let the love songs fool you all." Also hinted that Kim was alive, posting a throwback picture of them and writing, "She sent me this saying, life imitating art, art imitates life. Now it all makes sense. She told me other stuff too. She was running. I said call the FBI." The interesting part is that Al went into a coma shortly after speaking about this and he nearly died when he woke up. He never mentioned the topic again. A bit suspicious, don't you think? Well, given Diddy's current predicament with the feds, the streets are now saying that Kim's family is reportedly trying to get the feds to reopen the investigation into her passing, claiming that they allegedly have evidence. Not only does it involve Kim's passing, but it also allegedly offers more insight into Diddy's freakoffs, like how his mom allegedly took part in his freakoffs. Girl, say what now? To understand this situation, we need to go all the way back to Diddy's childhood. His father, Melvin Combs, was involved in some seriously shady stuff, and he was linked to Frank Lucas. Yes, that Frank Lucas, the man who inspired the movie American Gangster. Melvin was eventually unived in what is believed to have been a botched deal. When Diddy was only 3 years old, after Diddy's dad passed away, his mom Janice made sure to keep her 3-year-old away from the rough side of life. When he turned 12, she moved him and his sister out of Harlem to Mount Vernon, New York. She worked several jobs to make sure Diddy could attend a private school. Speaking about this, he said, "Until I was 12 I lived in Harlem, then we moved to Mount Vernon, New York. That was mom's way of getting us out of the inner city after my father was killed, but my grandmother lived in Harlem, so I went back and forth. I remember simple things about empty Vernon grass trees and being able to play baseball in Harlem. There was no little league, no front yard with grass, but the neighborhood was multicultural, so that broadened my horizon." In a 2006 interview with Oprah, Diddy opened up about how he found out the real story behind his dad's death. Despite his mom's best efforts to keep it under wraps, Diddy did some digging and uncover the truth himself. He said, "She tried to protect me. My father was a hustler who sold drugs during his time. That was the way out of Harlem, either that or playing basketball. My mother didn't want me to follow in his footsteps, so she was selective about which truth she told me. My father was in the army and he owned a limousine service and he died in a car accident. Actually, he was in a car, but even as a kid I put 2 and 2 together. I noticed that guys from the streets in Harlem always seem to know my family's last name. I used to run with your father. They tell me all my uncles were street hustlers as well." You might think with his dad's tough fate and his mom's sacrifices, working 2 jobs and nearly burning herself in debt to send him to a fancy Catholic school, that Diddy would stay on the street and narrow, steering clear of any messy drug life, right? Well, it turns out that wasn't quite the case. Even at his private Catholic school, Diddy somehow found himself rubbing shoulders with the wrong crowd. Reports say he struck up a tight friendship friendship with Andrew Campos, a member of the notorious Gambino crime family of Leosa North. They even played football together at St. Michael's and kept the bond strong after graduation. Child Diddy has been determined to be bad for a long time. From the sounds of it, his mom probably had a role to play in it as well. See, Janice claimed to be a model and a teacher's assistant back in the day, but the streets
are calling that BS, and now with all the
skeletons tumbling out of Diddy's closet, there's talk that his mom Janice might have schooled him in some shady business. Despite claims she was a model, there's no trace of her modeling gigs. Instead, whisper suggests she was more into organizing fashion shows, if you know what I mean. Rapper Mace also hinted that Diddy's mom knew more than she let on and that she was allegedly enabling his behavior.
I used to run with your father, they tell me. All my uncles were street hustlers as well. You might think with his dad's tough fate and his mom's sacrifices, working 2 jobs and nearly burying herself in debt to send him to a fancy Catholic school, that Diddy would stay on the straight and narrow, steering clear of any messy drug life, right? Well, it turns out that wasn't quite the case. Even at his private Catholic school, Diddy somehow found himself rubbing shoulders with the wrong crowd. Reports say he struck up a tight friendship with Andrew Campos, a member of the notorious Gambino crime family of La Cosa Nostra. They even played football together at St. Michael's and kept the bond strong after graduation. Child Diddy has been determined to be bad for a long time. From the sounds of it, his mom probably had a role to play in it as well. See, Janice claimed to be a model and a teacher's assistant back in the day, but the streets are calling that BS. And now, with all the skeletons tumbling out of Diddy's closet, there's talk that his mom Janice might have schooled him in some shady business. Despite claims she was a model, there's no trace of her modeling gigs. Instead, whispers suggest she was more into organizing fashion shows, if you know what I mean. Rapper Mace also said his mom knew more than she let on, and that she was allegedly enabling his behavior.
I did it. Told my he wanted receipts. Let's start with your mother. Your mother got the receipts. Everything is in your mother's name.
Looking back now, a lot of things are starting to make sense, especially that strange video Diddy posted with his mom. Fans were side-eyeing how he was showing off her body, talking about her touching the floor with her palms, and casually mentioning that she was getting in 4 drip with him. At the time, it just felt weird, but now, with everything coming out, it feels downright disturbing. According to the federal indictment, 4 drips were commonly used by Diddy and his Freakoff victims to recover after those parties.
So why was Mama Combs getting one too?
Eyes, and did y'all clock the white nails she had in the video? Cassie said in her lawsuit that Diddy forced her to wear white nail polish before Freakoffs. Fans are now connecting the dots, and some are wondering if Janice Combs wasn't just turning a blind eye, but fully involved. The comments were unhinged. It sounded like his mama on payroll as one of his ex-workers. That's not his mom, that's his madam.
She's always given me bad vibes.
She knew, she just didn't care, as long as the lifestyle kept flowing. Given all the rumors about her shady past and the disturbing things Diddy's been accused of, should we really be surprised? This is deep and dark, and honestly, it's hard to wrap your head around. What do y'all think? Was Mama Combs complicit? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and then go check out the next video because this rabbit hole goes even deeper.